What it do? Back and doing another video. Hope everybody's doing well. Got a good one for you guys, man. Before I get into it, if you like this, help the channel out, buy a patch, hit my channel description, and I'll mail you one out as soon as possible. Appreciate all those who have already purchased the patch. Appreciate it. Man, let me show you what I found. Now, you know Louisiana's known for having crazy snacks and different stuff. And I mean, if y'all don't know, I'm a snack guy, but look what I found, man. I didn't even know they had this. Y'all ever seen this before? Microwavable pork rinds. And it's the spicy. They was out of the other flavors, but man, I ain't never seen this before. I was like, what, man? Let me go ahead and get these guys a shot. So I bought 2 bags and ate one of like a couple days ago. That shit was hidden. It's microwavable. You can see, microwavable. Man, I was like, microwavable pork rinds only in New Orleans, right? Man, check this out. Crazy, bro. Yeah, man, good stuff. Now, my go-to pork rinds, I like the cracklings a little better. These are the go-to right here, and these are from Laplace, Louisiana. They ship them all over the state, but yeah, Bonneville's, these are good right here. I definitely mess with these right here. Yeah, man, let me get into this video, man. Yeah, YouTube, I'm in a safe control environment. All these firearms are unloaded, safety check. No women and children around, we all good. But man, you saw the thumbnail, man. So this is crazy, man, because we've seen school plots where, you know, the kids go crazy and stuff like that, shoot up the schools and all that kind of stuff. But we never seen really a mom facilitating, you know, something like that. And that's what I want to get into. But before we get into that, there was a case back in the day at Escandido, California, where the dad was basically helping the son plan a plot to shoot up his school. And I think what happened was, don't quote me, but I believe what I did a video on this. I believe what happened was some other kids heard that he was planning to do it, and they took the right approach, in my opinion. They went and told their parents, and their parents contacted the FBI. They didn't even go to the superintendent, the school principal, nothing like that. They went right to the FBI, and thank God, because the FBI acts on stuff like that. And they went to this dude's house, man, and whoo, they found about over 20,000 rounds of ammunition, all types of caliber. They found like heavy stuff, man. They found hand grenades, det cord, C4, explosive devices, improvised explosive devices, IEDs, all kind of in his garage, all in his garage. If that shit would have caught on fire, it would have blew up the whole block probably. So they took them down. They stopped that plot, thank God. Let me show you the clip real quick, just to stand by for 1 second.
Now a high school student and his father were arrested today after police say that the teen threatened to shoot up a San Diego high school. Well, police responded to a home just blocks away from Rancho Bernardo High School after receiving several reports that the teen told other students he planned a shooting for today. At the home, dozens of guns and explosives were seized, including rocket-propelled grenades. The teen was arrested and taken to juvenile hall. And the boy's father, 45-year-old Neil Anders, was also arrested and booked on several charges. Police confirmed Rancho Bernard High School campus is safe and was swept for any explosive devices.
Okay, I'm back. So yeah, you saw that, man. So that was at Escandido High, man, Escondido, California. And yeah, so they were planning to shoot up that school, man. The dad was involved with it, gonna help facilitate it, man. This is crazy, man. And this is why I was saying you got to be paying attention. And now I'm out of the you know, school right now. My kid in college and all things. It can happen in college too, man. Shout out to Florida State, people lost their lives. But my point is, if you got kids in primary, elementary, middle school, high school, man, you should be paying attention to, man, your kids, man, and talking to them, man, not just dropping them off and letting them stay at people's houses and stuff. And ask them like tough questions that talk about guns, talk about like, you know, anybody talking about they want to shoot the school up and all that kind of stuff. Man, you'll be surprised, man. I used to coach, man. Kids tell you all kind of crazy stuff that they don't even tell their parents, bro. Now, I used to run it back to the parents, like, you know, if it was something off the hook. But if it was just some petty stuff, I ain't really run it back that much. But man, you'll be surprised, man. So thank God those kids and stuff reacted the right way, foiled that plot, and, you know, stumped it out. Now, here's the thing. Some people are going to say, well, why don't you just contact the school? Well, here's the problem with that is, like, if you point out a kid that is off the hook doing crazy stuff, and let's back up. Most of the times when there's troubled kids on campus, the school already know, or they had a track record. In both these cases, these kids were considered troublemakers and things of that nature, but they keep letting them go back to the school. So if you already know that there's already an off the hook kid already in your school, you need to be talking to your kids and deciding whether or not you want your kid to stay there or you want to transfer schools, whatever it may be. But more than likely, wherever you transfer, the same thing could possibly happen. So it's best to go ahead and run out to the FBI. And the reason why I say that, most people go their entire life, 70, 80 years of life, 90 years of life, 100 years of life, 50, 60, 70 years of life, whatever, and they never contact the FBI about anything, right? So when you contact them, they're going to take it for sure serious. There's too many cases out there where the school knew that this dude was off the hook, this girl was off the hook, or whoever it may be, and they still let him come back to the school. Most of the parents didn't know, and then the kid goes off and does something horrendous to another student, but then it's too late, and then you find out later on that the school had already had a disciplinary action against this student, and they've already been warned, and the kid already been in psych treatment and all kind of stuff. So man, don't think just because it's public school, because private school cover up a lot of shit too. They're more likely to cover up a little bit more heinous stuff, because if the kid is rich and got influence, a judge or attorney in the family, they gonna back the fuck off. They don't do that shit for public school kids. They just basically sweep under the rug and act like it don't happen. And that's why if you hear about, like, your kid come home and they're in middle school or high school and they say, oh yeah, my classmate, she's in a sex trafficking organization. Don't think it's a joke, man. Run that shit to the FBI, because it's probably true, and they probably took it to the principal and they did nothing about it, or the school didn't do anything about it. It's a lot of cases out there, you ain't gotta believe me, where the school knew that these kids were off the hook and they did nothing about it. They just let them stay on the campus. So that's why I say go above them. Go to the sheriffs or go to the FBI. They gonna act on it. I guarantee the FBI gonna act on it. Now, I don't know, some of these other little districts that have these sheriffs that sit back and don't do nothing, and cops that don't do nothing. That's why you don't really want to mess with them, man. I wouldn't trust law enforcement. Just you calling them and saying, hey, one of my kids' classmates said that they was going to unalive a bunch of people at the school. I wouldn't trust them. They're not going to really run with it. They're going to just look into it lightly and then sweep it under the rug, more than likely. Now, if somebody in law enforcement hear me say that, so what if you don't like what I just said? I know for a fact that's how it goes sometimes, because I worked in coaching, I worked on a school campus, and there was issues that were brought up to the administration, superintendent, local authorities, and nothing happened. They always come back with, well, we can't do nothing because they haven't done nothing. We have to have more. We just can't go. So, but I tell you what, FBI they don't need that much. They'll connect the dots and kick your door in, or come to your door with a search warrant, and then go ahead, execute, take your laptops and all that kind of stuff. FBI spends a lot of money and time defusing counter-American terrorism acts, like sleeper cells and things of that nature, drug trafficking, and they spend a lot of money and budget with people go deep undercover to try to take down these syndicates, and you never hear about it because that's how they operate. So when it comes to these school shooters and stuff like that, the people who have the most intel, in my personal opinion, seeing all this stuff going all the way back to Columbine, is the students. The students got the most intel, and that's why the parents at the first line of information that can come to them is the parents. They're the first line of information being funneled. But if they don't talk to the kids, they'll never know. And that's why you need to understand what's going on. Now, let's get into the second part of this video. This lady and her son were playing a plot to shoot up the school. Now, I'm gonna show you the clip first. Let me just go ahead and show you the clip, and then we'll come back and talk about it for a second. Hold on, just let me show you the clip.
Student is in custody for allegedly plotting a mass shooting, and his own mother is accused of providing him with supplies to carry it out. KENS 5 reporter Megan Reyna is following this story tonight. She's live outside the West Side School. And Megan, you spoke with parents as they were picking up their kids this afternoon.
EC's parents are relieved but disturbed after learning a student was arrested yesterday. But according to this arrest warrant, his own mother is accused of providing him ammunition and tactical gear. 33-year-old Ashley Pardo is facing an invading and commission of terrorism charge. an aiding in commission of terrorism charge, that is. The warrant states the child's grandmother reported him to police Monday after she discovered multiple loaded magazines, an improvised explosive device, and a note about mass shootings in his bedroom. The warrant states the mom bought him the supplies in exchange for babysitting his younger siblings. This isn't the first time the child has been in trouble with the school. In April, he was caught researching a mass shooting on the school computer. He was then sent to alternative school but returned to campus back on May 8th. One parent we spoke to says she's grateful the grandmother spoke up.
I thank God and I thank her for that, because anything could have happened. You don't know. I could have lost my daughter. You know, a lot of other kids could have gone missing or shot, and teachers, and it's not right.
Investigators say yesterday the teen showed up to school wearing a camo jacket and mask and tactical pants, but then left campus. They eventually caught up to him off campus and arrested him. He's facing that terrorism charge. Coming up tonight at 10, we'll dig deeper into the details laid out in this arrest warrant. Reporting live from the West Side, Megan Reyna, KINS 5.
All right, you've seen it. Now, this is what's crazy about this. This kid has already been disciplined by the school and expelled, and then they let him come back. So you see what I'm saying? And this was crazy about this one. The last one I showed you, that was a dad, right? And we know dads are off the hook because they could have been ex-military. We've seen the DC sniper, Malvo, Muhammad, you know, influence over a soft kid. And it goes back to that too. Like if the child brain is mush, or the kid is kind of dweeby, I hate to say that, but they kind of dweeby, no back, no spine, just sit around playing video games all day, don't interact with other kids, don't try out for the little league team, baseball, football team in high school, basketball, whatever, swim team, whatever. Don't do any of that outdoor activity. All they do is sit in their room playing PC games, playing PS2, PS5, PS5, you know. And that's what the problem is. A lot of these kids be ostracizing themselves from the populace of the student body, and then the parents say like, well, I don't want my kid doing it because they pick on them and stuff, instead of addressing the real issue that your kid needs to toughen up, or you need to get them more involved and let them understand that the world is a big place and everybody ain't gonna like you, and it's okay for someone not to like you, and it's okay for you not to be a superstar athlete and all that kind of stuff, but there's a place for you on the campus. But parents don't talk to their kids like that. I can say all that verbatim right off the top of my head because I coach, and that's some of the stuff I tell kids. Everybody's not the same. Everybody's not the same. And everybody has their own different path of where and how they're going to navigate through society socially. And so, and the fastest way to do that is put yourself out there and take the backlash, take the, you know, I got picked on a lot, you know, big head, this, that. And when people say I was skinny and all that kind of stuff, I was a little bigger than this in high school. I was about 185 in high school. I'm about 175 now. But my point is, my brother was a stud athlete. I had to live underneath that shadow. I was a decent athlete. I mean, I wasn't no scrub, but I wasn't nothing like my brother, all-state California in two different sports. And, you know, and so I had to deal with that too, but I was good enough to hold my own. I didn't really need to really piggyback off of him and all that kind of stuff. And people, you know, people had their opinions, but you live on, you live another day. But what's disturbing about this case is that the mom was like, did you hear that shit? Man, I couldn't believe it. She said, oh yeah, they said that you heard the report. She said that he would babysit his siblings and she would give for exchange for tactical gear, guns, and ammo. I'm thinking like, what 13-year-old, 12-year-old wants to babysit, first of all? And if they did, who says, okay, yeah, mom, yeah, go ahead, I'll babysit my little brother and sister as long as you can hook me up with some 5.56 and get me a little AR 7.5 inch and, you know, a little plate carrier, you know what I'm saying, and some tack gear. I'll do it. Come on, man. That tells you, man. That she look rough. Now, you know, you saw her with the tattoos all on her neck and face, looking all rough. Now, here's the thing with the tattoos and stuff. I don't know if, let's put it this way. I had a gang of kids, and then I remember my kids entered high school, my older ones, and they were like with tattoos. None of them got tattoos, by the way. I think one of them got a couple of them, like on an ankle or something in the back, like way later in their late 20s, right? But I remember they used to say like, Dad, if I got it, you think a tattoo would make somebody look at you different? I said, can I, if someone had a tattoo, do they have the right to do what they want to do with their body? I said, yeah, they got the right to do what they want to do with their body, but there's a price you pay. Don't be telling your kids that they can put a skull on their chin and on their neck and all this kind of stuff and teardrops and coming, you know, and they think that nobody gonna look at them differently. You got to tell your kids you are gonna get looked differently. Those, because remember, a lot of people don't know this. I know this because I'm old enough. I'm 56, man. I'm May 18th. I'll be 57. And what I'm saying is, me personally, I speak for myself. Tattoos came from two entities when I was growing up: the Navy, military for the most part, Navy, but all the military, and prison. That's where that shit came from. It got popularized. I would say it didn't necessarily come from there. It goes back to tribal stuff. You know, African tribes, Hawaiian tribes, all kind of tribes tattooed for a long, long time. But I'm talking about domestic tattooing in a Western civilization country like ours. The popularity risen off two entities: those military kids coming back with all those tattoos because it's kind of like a rite of passage, and prison. Okay. Now, the third entity, we can go ahead and equate it to the hip hop culture / basketball player. Because I remember when Allen Iverson came to the league, before him, there was not guys wearing braids and had tattoos and stuff. But AI took it to another level. And then everybody started getting braids, wearing cornrows and tattooing their whole bodies all up and stuff like that. But before AI, there was nobody really doing that in the NBA either. So what I'm getting at is that it got popularized and glamorized, but what people don't realize is that jobs and people who in corporate worlds and when they're looking to hire and content creators, when they're trying to like push your product out, that shit matters. Because even when you look at Post Malone, I'm kind of getting on a tangent, but even when you look at Post Malone, shit all over his face, there's people that have said, and he's a very, very successful artist, okay? And he does movies. But people have said if he didn't have all that shit on his face, he probably could be pressed out further than his reach. And that's why when you see a lot of his songs, it ain't like a lot of videos. He got videos, but I'm just saying, that look just can't really be commercialized and sold as easy as a guy like Usher or, you know, Justin Timberlake or something like, you know what I'm saying? Cats that don't got a lot of shit all over their face. So people got to realize this. Now, going back to this mom, she looks off the hook. I'm not going to just throw her on the bus, but I am in a way, because she looks rough. It looks like she comes from a gang world. She's like she's been around the block, done some bad things. And the mere fact that she's buying guns and ammo for her kid tells me that she owns firearms illegally. Because if you're going to give your child firearms, then you definitely have had firearms illegally. And she's probably a felon. And most felons in most states, in most situations, cannot own firearms. So she definitely is a bad mom. And I've never seen that. Y'all let me know if y'all seen a school shooter that was induced or was being groomed by their mother. Man, that's some crazy shit right there when you think about that. Being groomed by your mom. Clear weapon here. That's crazy to me. I don't understand how in the hell a mom would think it'd be okay to let their kid, you know, go to a school and shoot it up like that. I mean, that's just wild to me, man. Like, you know, and that's real disturbing. But when you look into facts, though, when you look at the facts, I guarantee you that everybody know that kid was off the hook. Everybody know that kid was off the hook. Everybody knows that kid was off the hook and had issues, but nobody wanted to address it. The school knew it. Everybody knew it. And it's fortunate. And now it sounds like the grandma blew the whistle. She the one said like, oh, no, I got to shut this down. But it makes me wonder how much more what has went down that possibly the grandma saw or everybody else saw. But it's wild, man. I just want to get y'all opinion on that, man. That's why you got to watch your kids, talk to them, ask them questions about stuff like this. You'd be surprised what they'll tell you. My daughter just finished off her freshman year at Xavier University. She did great, 3.9 GPA, started about 80% of the games. Kicked butt, really, as a freshman. You know, moved all the way from San Diego to New Orleans and didn't miss a beat because we built our kids tough like that, strong like that, mentally tough. And one of the kids at her dorm unalived themselves this year. And, you know, unaliving yourself it happens all the time in colleges and all kind of groups and stuff like that. And unfortunately, this kid did it. And she was a brilliant, smart kid going into pharmacy, pretty much an honor roll student. Most kids at Xavier are really good academic students. So that goes without saying. But it just goes to show, even when they have some success, if they're depressed and have issues going on, it won't be enough to stop them. So this kid this kid was trying to do this school shooting, was totally off. But you got to go back and think about, where's the leadership at? Where's the dad at? This guy must be pretty awful too, to leave his son with this nutball. So I just find that kind of wild, man, that that the school would let this kid back in, because we know he's said and done some things. That's with the Kobe right there. That looks a little cleaner with the Kobe, you know, the 24. And I got to probably put another optic on here because I got another one just came in. But this little one looks pretty good, but I think the other one will sit higher and get a co-witness off those sights. So these sights is tight, these Fiatchis, because they're fiber optic. The rings, the 2 dots, and then the one in the front. That looks real good. But yeah, I don't know, man. It just sounds crazy to me that the school actually let this kid back on campus, and they said he's done some bad stuff. Now they ain't gonna go into detail in the news report what he actually did, but I bet you it was threatening. Whatever he was doing was physical harm, and they let him back on the campus, and then all of a sudden he's gonna come back and shoot it up, because they said they caught him with tack gear on, camouflage jacket. Now they didn't say they found any weapons on him, but I'm sure they did. So man, just let me know what you guys think about that, man. That's crazy to me, man. Like, you know, these parents out here for, you know, promoting their kids to go shoot up schools, and that's why you need to be nosy, diligent, and ask your kid questions, man. Like, a lot of parents don't even have we used to call it debriefings, man. Our kids come home from school, we sit they butt down at the table and debrief. Well, how did school go today? What about this? What about that? We didn't have to worry about the sports part, because I was coaching most of the time, not in high school, but I was coaching when they were little in the rec leagues and stuff. So I was their coach, so I knew what was going on in the sports world. But we would get a debrief on what happened on campus, any fights, sex, any drugs, alcohol, all kind of stuff. And man, my kid at Xavier, when she was in the 8th grade, there was kids popping Xanaxes and stuff, getting them from their parents. So, you know, when you know, Point Loma, and you would think like, oh yeah, by the beach, pretty and all this, and the parents are all perfect. No, they're not. They're all a bunch of pill popping alcoholic wine drinkers. Most of the really expensive communities, in my experience in California, the upscale areas, I lived in a pretty upscale area, and a lot of them, you would think like, man, that don't go down there. Yes, it does. It goes down there all the time, man. How you think these kids be getting these pills and prescription drugs and all this kind of stuff? And their parents buy them Beamers and Porsches and let them ride around, go all around LA and shit, and drive way up there 2 hours and party and get fucked up, crash the car, and then buy them a new one. And then when they get older and get to college, you think that behavior is going to change? So a lot of these behaviors are being facilitated by parents who don't know how to really, shouldn't be parents, number one, and don't know how to really raise children. So it's unfortunate, but it's fortunate in this case that, you know, they thwarted this plot and nobody got hurt. And I guess that's the bottom line, and the best thing is that nobody got hurt, man. But let me know what y'all think, man. Got the Blade 6 right here with the 24, the Kobe on that baby. Woo, that looks clean, boy. Yes, indeed. And just stay ready, stay armed. Make sure you always have a pistol on you. Got that